Hey, this is first of all, hello. Nice to meet you. This is what I do with the actual band itself, just to get a bit of stretch through the calf and through the Achilles. You can see normally my foot wants to point out, which is absolutely fine normally. What then happens is these back muscles start to get tighter and tighter. So when you walk, it's a lot harder to put that heel down. So what we want to try and do effectively over time is to stretch the back muscles, but also these muscles along the front here, they're the muscles that bring the foot back. So the back muscles point the foot, which are generally quite tight for people in our position. And then the front muscles, which are quite painful because I've got all these pins going through them, and probably so do you and most everybody else as well. But we can use these muscles, and we've got to try and use these muscles as much as possible to get the nervous system going and to just get the body working again. So we use those muscles to pull the foot back, and also the tendons of the toes, they run up the front part as well. Some of them run along the side, but majority of them kind of run all the way along the top. So we want to try and pull the foot back. I'm not too good at the moment pulling these toes back, but at the moment I'm not really too concerned. I'll be working on that later on when the pins start to get removed, and I can actually get a bit more work going through the actual leg. So with the band, I saw you doing the stretches before, which was really, really good. Where we can get into that position, as you say, as you were just pulling back. Now what you can do in this position, actually, before I tie it up, is we can actually use this as a bit of resistance. So holding it gently, and we're going to use these back muscles a little bit, because at the end of the day, the whole leg is going to be very, very weak at the moment, and we need the whole leg to be a lot stronger. So we can use this resistance to gently just try and push against. Just try and push that foot away, and depending on how much you want to use your hand will determine how much resistance. The other thing you can do as well is, as I talked about, we want to try and get these front shin muscles working. Without the band, we try and pull back. And with the band, even though the range of movement is going to be really small, just by having ourselves in that position, which is quite comfortable, certainly not painful, I can't really feel too much of a stretch, but I can't come back any further. So I'm happy with that in terms of that range of movement. And now again, I'll start to use these shin muscles, and I'll try and use all these tendons in the toes just to pull back a bit more. So again, the range of movement is a lot smaller compared to when it isn't there. What it's doing is it's activating these muscles. I don't know if the camera can pick up, but you'll see this working. And that's exactly what we want. We want life being brought back into the muscles, and if the life is being brought back into the muscles, it means life is being brought back to the nervous system, so we can use that later on. I'm definitely looking at getting back to running and getting back to training people and myself and squatting and lunging. So all this has to work. Maybe not as well as it used to, but I definitely need it working better than it is now. So they're the exercises you can do to help with that. And then to tie it, just with the top of the frame, we get a range of movement that's quite comfortable. Oh, I sent the text message about my foot got a bit painful. Most of the pain was actually caused around this area here, around the outside. But when it did happen, that was after about a good few hours. If it did happen, I just took it off, let it recover, and then I'd put it back on again. So all you do is you get the band. Now some people just tie it straight on, and I found that didn't really give me too much resistance or purchase. So I had one over, and then I put the other one underneath. That for me just feels a little bit too high, so I'll take that down just below the little toe. Wrap it underneath. Tie it up once. Now if you just leave it like that, it'll probably get a bit loose. So you can either put it into a bow or just double knot it. I put it into a bow because the band, the bit of material is quite long, and if I just double knot it, these bits will hang down. And I just leave it like that. Now here what I can do is I can't really feel a stretch, but I can feel quite a bit of tension around the ankle because it doesn't want to be pulled back at the moment, but it has to. If I'm wanting to walk, and if I'm wanting to walk where the leg goes behind me, it has no other option. It has to bend, and I've got to try and take control of that leg back again. So while in this position, I can be doing some work. I can just be laying here watching TV, listening to a podcast, and then I can work again on just pulling, even though it's a tiny range of movement, just pulling that foot back. Don't worry that it's attached to the frame. The frame's designed to basically take our entire body weight. So to have this tied against that, it's going to be no issues at all, especially when everything is as rigid as it is. I hope this has helped. Speak to you later.